Yo, what's going on with y'all? This your boy NeohXO, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Black Clover chapter 261. Now, this is one of the most saddest Black Clover chapters that I've ever read, but before we get too deep into the video, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you like Black Clover content. And with that being said, let's hop right into the video. So before we get into the chapter, there is actually a color page, and it has Asta with his demon arm colored in. So it's like red and black. A lot of people were speculating that was going to be the color of it, and it matches his headband, and I think it looks pretty cool. You see he has like some black fingernails, and like the hand has some red highlights with kind of like black main color. It looks really good. I'll put a picture of it on screen here, and I think it looks cool. And then we see Yami in the back, kind of like, you know, the anime pose where it's like Yami seems so far away, and Asta just looks absolutely evil in this picture. I ain't gonna lie, he might have to go like crazy to get Yami back, and he does go crazy in this chapter. This chapter starts off with some scenery. It seems like we changed scenery. We went to the place where the healing mages heal. Pretty much what we see is Owen operating on Asta with his water healing magic, you know, kind of like the jellyfishes. And what's important to note about Owen is he's pretty much one of the most powerful healing mages in the Clover Kingdom. Like, he's directly under the Wizard King, so he's pretty much the top of the line healing mage when it comes to healing and stuff like that. And basically he's giving them the rundown. He's saying that Asta is going to be okay, so that's really good for us to hear. Asta is going to be okay, and he doesn't really know what's going on with Asta's arm. He's saying like this is some unknown things, and he can't really do anything about it. So he also tells the rest of the Black Bulls who are present that the Golden Dawn got destroyed, and he also informs them that the captains are going to be having a meeting soon. So that's going to be kind of crazy. All the captains are going to have a meeting about rescuing Captain Yami and Captain Vengeance. And I want to see how that meeting goes, because it's really cool whenever the captains get together for meetings, because we kind of get to see like in depth behind the scenes on what really goes on. Good thing for the rest of the Black Bulls, Owen pretty much tells them that their injuries are not going to be life-threatening, and everyone pretty much got away alive, you know what I mean? And we see pretty much this is a very depressing chapter. We see Fenrir looking down in despair. He's like pretty much saying how Asta and Yami protected them, which is very true. Asta and Yami really protected everyone in the Black Bulls, but in the end Captain Yami got taken away, and that really sucks, man. Like, it's really depressing, and it really like makes you feel. And we see this chapter here is really more informational, so I'll do my best to like relay the information to you guys. Another thing that we got in this chapter was the doctor, or whatever you want to call him, Owen. He pretty much was saying how Gray's magic, the essence of the magic, might not actually be transformation, because the cells on Ghosh's body are pretty much reconstructing themselves. So that's something there that we got to look forward to in the future. So what's the essence of Gray's magic? Because transformation magic actually does seem really impressive by itself, but I'm pretty sure Tabata has something even more impressive if the essence of her magic is not transformation. So pretty much we also see Vanessa in despair. The way Tabata drew them is really like, you can really see the despair, man. I'm not gonna lie. Basically what Owen tells them is they need to have a proper rest. That's when it cuts to Asta resting in bed, and his eyes like shoot open. They straight up just go open, and he wakes up pretty much having a panic attack. So he immediately reaches for his grimoire, and we see Captain Yami's katana come out of his grimoire, and that's when Asta has the realization of what had happened. Everything came like rushing back to Asta. He immediately starts to run and try to go save Captain Yami, but like, if we're being realistic, he's in no shape to save Captain Yami, and also he's not strong enough. The anti-magic devil even told him to his face, he said, Asta, you're weak. He said that to his face. And that gets reiterated in this chapter, because right after Asta tries to run away, he stopped suddenly. And he's like, who is that? And he's thinking in his head, the reason I can't move is because that guy's magic. So basically, Asta is being like held up by this guy in a cloak. This cloak is the same one from a few chapters back where they introduced the vice captain of the Black Bulls, but we didn't know who it was. We didn't get to see the face. He was just in a cloak. In this chapter, we actually get to see his face. I really like his design, and he has some choice words to say to Asta. Basically, some of the things that he says to Asta is, Asta cannot save Captain Yami because he's too weak. Even his devil didn't want to give him more power because he's so weak. And basically he's telling Asta, you don't even know a thing about your right arm. Like, he's just basically, honestly, he's being realistic to Asta, because we know sometimes Asta be like not really thinking realistically, because realistically he can't fight the devils in the state that he's in right now, but he wants to so bad. He's like, I have to go. And then we see the vice captain really talking like a lot of bad on Yami's name. He's saying that Yami's like violent and immoral and stuff like that, and he says he's not even a proper human being, which Yami isn't really proper if you think about it, because he's not proper like the royals are, you know what I mean? They're really proper and stuff like that, but Yami is Yami, you know what I mean? And he took Asta in at the end of the day. Asta has a real good connection, so that really makes Asta flash out, and he's like, he immediately calls for his demon destroyer sword. As he's getting his demon destroyer sword, he's gonna attack the person in the cloak, and the person in the cloak uses what appears to be some shadow magic with a bunch of hands, and it restrains Asta held down. And basically what he says after that is, if a human can't be him, then he's not gonna be able to save Captain Yami. And the reason he says human is because presumably he's a devil, like, because at the end of the chapter we see him growing some devil horns, like straight up the vice captain is growing some devil horns. So it's just really crazy, man. Asta's saying pretty much on the ground as he's restrained, because like Asta is feeling completely hopeless, like he's literally lying on the ground completely restrained, and he's pretty much saying, if only I was stronger. And we see Asta cry again. It's been a really long time since we seen Asta cry, and like, yeah, when I seen that, it really hit me. It really hit me. This chapter gave us a lot of information. Asta crying was probably the most impactful scene in this chapter for me. Really emotional scene. And then we see the vice captain pretty much saying, you're a good person, I like you. And he's saying, don't worry, Yami is still alive. And then Asta sees like the horns, and he's like, wait. So pretty much Asta sees that he's another devil user, and he seems a little surprised. So Asta's like, what are you? And you know, kind of, that's pretty much where the chapter ends off. And I think this was a really good chapter. I think we were needing an informational chapter. I think this is the most well-written informational chapter we've gotten so far, because it's still very intense to me. Even though it was an informational chapter, I still found that it was very intense, and it's really crazy, man. Like, but I mean, that's really all I got to say to y'all today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeohXO, and I'm out.